The energy of this week pushes us forward. But do you know what steps you need to take carefully? The week of August 18, 24 brings a mixed energy, in which the impulse to act quickly will intersect with lessons of patience and inevitable adjustments. We have days when opportunities may appear unexpectedly, but also moments when haste or lack of attention can bring complications. Everything will revolve around our ability to maintain the balance between enthusiasm and caution, between the desire to stand out and the need to build step by step. It is a good time to let big ambitions settle on solid foundations and to test the directions that are really worth following. Those who manage not to be carried away by the temptation of impulsive actions will discover real chances for progress. The full, detailed, and extensive predictions for each day are available exclusively to those enrolled in my mentoring program. If you want to have access to all the information and learn how to use these energies to your advantage, I invite you to join the mentorship where transformation becomes reality. Where Don't forget to follow to always be one step ahead and understand the energy of each week before it even starts. After listening to each day's predictions, write to me in a comment, what is the biggest challenge you feel during this time? If you feel like you are going through a period of unanswered questions or difficult decisions, the Path of Transformation mentoring program can offer you a stable framework in which to work with yourself, your energy, and the right tools. We work together for 12 months step by step in a deep and applied process. You can reserve your place in the group that started in July. You can find all the information on the page Catalin Vasiloiu.ro/mentorat. But let's take care of the current week and see together how we can navigate the days ahead intelligently. Monday, August 18th. Monday, August 18th brings the energy of the Yin Earth Goat, Jiwei, which brings us a mix of gentleness and instability. Although it is a seemingly calm day dominated by the idea of rest and introspection, behind this atmosphere there are clear warnings. The closed day officer, the most negative of the 12, makes this day completely unsuitable for major activities, business, medical procedures, or important decisions. However, the bow constellation alleviates some of this tension and can bring a subtle note of protection for those who choose to be cautious. The hexagram of the day, rising, 46, sends a clear message. Real progress does not come through sudden leaps or risky decisions, but through small, consistent, and patient steps. It is a day that reminds us that every great achievement begins with seemingly insignificant details. Perseverance and dedication, even in small things, are what lead to lasting results. The pillar of the day is Jiwei, Yin Earth Goat. Those who are advantaged are those born in horse, pig, and rabbit. Those born in ox, rat, and dog, it would be better to show more caution. Attention on this day. Favorable day for rest and relaxation. Unfavorable day for any kind of important activity. Officer of the day is 12, close day. Pi. Officer close day superimposed on a day of Jiwei, Yin Earth Goat, in a month of Jiashen, Yang Wood Monkey, does not bring anything positive. Anyway, close day is the most negative of the 12 officers. Avoid all important personal and business activities. Avoid medical procedures and surgeries. The constellation of the day is 26 Bo, Zhang. The constellation Bo is generally favorable, and it also reduces the negativity of this day. The hexagram of the day is 46 Rising, Defunction. What does this hexagram look like? Inside the earth, wood grows, an image of vertical growth. Hexagram 46 symbolizes the image of wood growing patiently and persistently from within the earth, aspiring to heights. This image evokes a slow but steady process of development and progress, where each small achievement contributes to the achievement of grand goals. In life, this lesson teaches us the importance of focusing on seemingly insignificant details, approaching each challenge with an altruistic spirit, and remaining dedicated to our goals, no matter the difficulties encountered. Like a plant that makes its way through the earth to reach the light, our success is born of constant effort, patience, and adaptability. Growth and progress are not always quick or easy, but they are inevitable if we are willing to fully dedicate ourselves to each step of our journey. Giving up ego and caring for the common good allows us to transform small actions into major achievements, thus contributing to our personal development and long-term success. The hexagram reminds us that real progress comes from a gradual accumulation of achievements, and that perseverance is the key to reaching heights. Just as wood grows vertically, overcoming obstacles and adapting to its conditions, we too must move forward constantly, step by step, despite difficulties. This approach allows us to reach our full potential and achieve lasting results. It is a call to be aware of the fact that every small action counts and that success does not come overnight, but is the result of continuous effort and unwavering dedication. Progress should not be measured only by big achievements, but also by small daily victories, which cumulatively lead to significant transformations in our lives. The deep message of this hexagram is as follows. The hexagram of vertical growth urges us to be patient, persevere, and work constantly to overcome our limits. In this way, we can reach significant achievements and deep personal fulfillment. Just as little by little the sea is made, so every effort counts on our path to success. As special information, we have monthly annual Shade Day, 3 killings. Avoid starting a longer journey because difficulties, delays, and obstacles will arise. Do not start studying for an exam today. Avoid taking on projects that have deadlines because you will not be able to meet them. Semen practitioners, we have Divine Blessing in the Southwest Palace and Divine Force in the West Palace. So we have 2 of the 3 palaces of victory. Don't worry if you still don't know how to use these palaces. You have at hand the guide to the 3 palaces of victory available for free on courses.catalin Vasiloiu.ro. And if you want to see step by step how to activate Semen, you can find the video tutorial right there in this guide. As a final recommendation, use this day as a strategic pause. Rest, meditate, work on details or inner preparations. But avoid starting or completing major projects. This is not the time for big moves, but it is an excellent time to cultivate patience, clarity, and confidence in small steps. Remember that success is not built in a single day, but through constant accumulation, just as a tree makes its way through the earth slowly but surely until it reaches the light. Tuesday, August 19th. Tuesday, August 19th brings an energy that speaks of clarity of thought, discipline, and inner strength. Today comes with the energy of the metal monkey, a combination that challenges us to be agile but also cautious. It is a day when appearances can be deceiving, and what seems promising at first may only show its true face in the end. That is why the enthusiasm of the moment must be tempered with lucidity and patience. The water in the hexagram of the day reminds us that the road is not always straight, but the constant flow and the ability to adapt are what lead to success. On Tuesday, your strength lies not in the rush to act, but in the correctness with which you look at things and the wisdom to wait for the right moment. The pillar of the day is Geng Shen, young metal monkey. Those who are favored are those born in snake, rat, and dragon. Those born in tiger and pig, it would be better to show more caution, attention on this day. A favorable day for planning, romantic meetings, meetings with friends, starting studies, relocation, starting work, starting medical treatment, starting construction, starting medical treatment. An unfavorable day for marriages, laying the foundation, excavations, funerals, demolition of old buildings. Officer of the day is 1, established day Jian. The established day officer superimposed on a day of Gengshen, young metal monkey, in a month of Jiashen, young wood monkey, brings with it both good sides, but also the risk that the activities started today will end with a feeling of disappointment. Exalting and manifesting joy before the actions are finished is not the best option. It is recommended to wait for the completion of the processes and only then open the champagne. In ancient China, generally on an established day, rituals and prayers were performed to have a rich harvest. It is a suitable day for engagement, marriage proposal, but not wedding, starting a new job or taking on a new position. Excellent for business negotiations and visiting friends. The constellation of the day is 27 Wing. Yi. The constellation Wing brings a cloud to the sky on this day. It is generally unfavorable and does not bring anything good. It is especially harmful to practice Feng Shui on this day, to schedule a funeral or wedding, or to start work at a new place of work. The hexagram of the day is 29, Water, Kan Wei Shui. What does this hexagram look like? Water always flows, it squeezes through the narrowest cracks, gathers in the deepest valleys and never stops on its way. This is what hexagram 29 teaches us, about perseverance, lucidity and courage in the face of challenges. It is one of the few symmetrical hexagrams, which means that danger does not come just once, it can come again. And its lesson is clear. It is not important how many obstacles you encounter, but how you pass through them with a clear mind and an awake heart. The image of the hexagram is that of water flowing through a narrow gorge. And just like water that does not fear the shapes of the rock but embraces them, you too can move forward if you learn to adapt wisely to reality. It is a day that requires vigilance and patience. Don't jump to conclusions, don't act impulsively. Instead, analyze, breathe, reflect. You are called to maintain your direction even when the terrain seems unstable. On an inner level, this hexagram reflects the heart, that deep space where emotions, light and shadows reside. And your mission is to traverse them with honesty and calm without letting your fears overwhelm you. True strength does not come from rigidity but from flexibility. Water wins precisely because it does not resist. And so, true wisdom comes when you remain true to your values, but adjust your steps with intelligence. The profound message of the hexagram is this: in the face of danger, do not stop. Do not run, but become like water. Keep flowing, observing, adapting. Because where there is attention and lucidity, there is always a way. As special information, we have Heavenly 3 Noble. An excellent day for opening festivities, store inaugurations, especially between 3 and 5 a.m. Yes, it is possible if we are talking about a virtual store. Recommendation of the day. Use this day as an exercise in patience and vigilance. Pay attention to details, avoid impulsive decisions, and don't rush to conclusions before things are completely clear. Just as water always finds a way through the tightest corners, you too will find the solutions you need if you choose to remain lucid, calm, and consistent. End the day with the confidence that perseverance and flexibility are your strongest allies. Wednesday, August 20th. This Wednesday is under the influence of the yin metal rooster, an energy that pushes us to look honestly at what is about to end, be cleaned or rearranged in our lives. It is a day when exaggerations and theatrical gestures are pointless. Small, quiet, but intentional steps weigh more. The universe offers us the opportunity to recognize what weighs us down, what has become a burden, and to release those things to create new space. This is not the time for spectacular beginnings, but for clarification and liberation. Those who choose simplicity and moderation will discover a Wednesday characterized by a discrete force, but with a deeply transformative effect. The pillar of the day is Yin Yin metal rooster. Those who are favored are those born in the dragon, snake and ox. Those born in the rabbit, dog and rat, it would be better to be more cautious on this day. It is a favorable day for excavations, digging, cleaning, eliminating unnecessary things from life, renovations, starting a diet and divorce. It is an unfavorable day for a romantic date, traveling, relocation, marriage, starting a business, starting a new project, starting work. Officer of the day is 2, Remove Day. Chu. On a day when the Officer Remove Day overlaps with the day of Xinyu, Yin Metal Rooster in the month of Jiashen. Yang Wood Monkey, the Qi of the 5 elements, is weaker, and therefore cannot be used much. This day is also known as Pure Direct Day, containing the energy of the heaven and earth drilling Shastar, making it unfavorable for activities with long-term impact. But it is a day that you should dedicate to cleanliness and diet. It is an excellent time to start a diet. This day is suitable for bringing order to your life and to focus on health and well-being. In addition, Remove Day makes the day suitable for finishing something, to put an end to unpleasant or unwanted situations. The influence of the Remove Day officer makes the day very good for the following activities: prayer, fasting, removing negative habits that are hurting you, resolving problems, disputes and conflicts with neighbors, work colleagues, etc. Reorganizing the structure of the company, the website, the organization you work for, the marketing campaign, the current sales process, rearranging things around the house, a surgical intervention that involves removing a certain affected structure of the body, a tooth extraction but not the treatment of teeth, the extrajudicial settlement of a legal problem, identifying and eliminating the causes of problems, anything that involves dismantling and reassembling, replacing in place. The purchase or adoption of animals and the mating of animals will be avoided. The constellation of the day is 28, Carriage, Gen. The constellation Carriage has a positive influence on the acquisition of goods and investments. It is very good if you need support from other people. It is a very good day to start school today or to start a course. Traveling is not recommended on this day, especially in the north direction. Hexagram of the day is 62, Lesser exceeding Lei Shan Xiaoguo. What does this hexagram look like? Thunder over the mountain, the image of modesty that does not seek to impress, but to balance. This hexagram sends us a subtle but essential message. On certain days, power lies not in grand gestures, but in nuances, in silences, in discreet gestures, in sober choices. It is a day when how you feel matters more and how you look less. True respect does not need applause. You can be gentle without being weak. You can be fair without being harsh. You can be honest without being loud. Today, it is important to maintain your discernment and not exaggerate with politeness, displayed emotions, or concern for the opinions of others. There is no need for masks or theatrical gestures. More does not necessarily mean better. Be yourself. If you are participating in a delicate moment, whether it is a breakup, a loss, or a sensitive situation, it is important to be there with real presence, with simplicity and sincerity. A warm look, an extended hand, a word spoken from the heart, all are worth infinitely more than any pomp or exaggerated gesture. The profound message of the hexagram is as follows: avoid exaggeration. Be present with all your heart. Do not put on a show. Discretion, modesty, and sincerity open doors that distortion of reality would close. As special information, we have Peach Blossom Day, a day with benefits for couples to strengthen the relationship, or, if you are single, to look for a life partner. Avoid starting trips on this day. Heaven and Earth drilling. Shade, Heaven and Earth axis, Heaven and Earth, shifting Shah. It is a change of energy between Heaven and Earth. Reversals of situations are possible reversals in the literal sense, by car or boat. It is possible that from the accuser, you become the accused, etc. Emptiness Day. Travel-related problems, flight delays or cancellations, engine failure, flat tire. Unfavorable for marriages, official dinners, for taking on a new position or function. Seamen practitioners, we have divine light in the southeast palace, so we have one of the 3 palaces of victory. Don't worry if you still don't know how to use this energy. You have at hand the guide to the 3 palaces of victory, available for free on courses.catalinvasiloiu.ro. And if you want to see step by step how to do a Seamen activation, you can find the video tutorial right there in this guide. Recommendation of the day. Take advantage of this day to make room for the new, letting go of what no longer supports you. Clean, organize, finalize, and leave behind everything that blocks you. Real power lies in simple gestures, made in the light of truth. Remember, often, liberation from the past is the most solid form of progress towards the future. Thursday, August 24th. On Thursday, the energy of the young water dog presents us with a day full of contrasts. On the one hand, there is a force of multiplication that makes everything we initiate gain momentum. And on the other hand, this very expansion can bring with it even more complications if we are not careful about the consequences. It is a day when we can receive good news, consolidate resources, and even celebrate successes. But we must be aware that what we feed through thoughts and actions will multiply. Therefore, attention to intentions and how we manage what we accumulate becomes essential. The pillar of the day is Renshu, young water dog. Those who are favored are those born in rabbit, tiger, and horse. Those born in dragon, rock, and goat, it would be better to show more attention on this day. It is a favorable day for a romantic meeting, business meetings, divorce, starting a business, housewarming party, debt collection, signing documents, buying property, and investments. It is an unfavorable day for moving, relocation, marriages, funerals, resolving legal issues, applying for a loan, demolishing old buildings, starting work. The officer of the day is 3 full day. Man, the full day officer being superimposed on a day of Renshu, young water dog, in a month of Jiashen, young wood monkey, produces an energetic combination that favors disputes and legal problems, troubles and gossip, as well as worsening the health of family members. The full day officer makes everything that was started on this day multiply, and you can celebrate the inauguration of the house, recover debts from others. But if your thoughts and actions have negative consequences, they will also multiply. It is not favorable for signing onerous contracts, those in which you oblige yourself to do things or give money, or for taking on a new position or function. You should not borrow money and start a lawsuit in court. It is not suitable for funerals and burials and the demolition of old buildings. The constellation of the day is One Horn Jiao. The constellation Horn has a positive influence on receiving good news, suitable for increasing prosperity and accumulating wealth. Hexagram of the day is 45, Gathering, Zidikwe. What does this hexagram look like? The lake that sits above the earth, the symbol of gathering and concentrating energy. Where people gather together, both opportunities and risks arise. This hexagram reminds us that true power comes from unity, but that any form of aggregation of people, ideas, emotions, or resources needs awareness, structure, and anticipation. When water gathers too much in one place, it can become a destructive force. The same is true in our lives. When we accumulate without organizing, without paying attention, tensions, losses, or disorder inevitably arise. It is a day that invites us to think not only about what we collect, but also how we manage what we have collected. When you are surrounded by many things, people, or tasks, ask yourself, do I coordinate them well? Can I harmonize them? Or do I just let them pile up? That's the lesson of today's hexagram. It's not enough to have a lot. You also need to know what to do with that lot. In your relationships, seek mutual support, but avoid dependencies. In your projects, seek synergy, not chaos. It's time to organize yourself, to put in order what you have accumulated, and to create space for the things that really matter. In life, gathering without clarity creates confusion. But gathering guided by intention and goodwill creates solid communities, effective teams, true relationships. The deep message of the hexagram is this: where there are crowds, there is a need for direction. Where there is collective energy, there is a need for clear consciousness. True wisdom is to be prepared before chaos arises. Prepare yourself in advance, because prevention is the ultimate form of lucidity. As special information, we have Heavenly Thief Day. Avoid if you can the inauguration of some places, storage halls, because there is a risk of theft for the entire period you will be present in that location, or hire a good guard and you have solved the problem. White Tiger Shah entering Central Palace Day. Avoid doing very important things. Avoid operations and surgical interventions, an unfavorable day for solving medical problems. Recommendation of the day: use this day to gather, to accumulate what really matters to you, and to put your resources, projects, and relationships in order. Avoid rushing, arguments, or risky decisions because they can have greater effects than you imagine. Focus on what is truly worth developing in your life. Remember, the direction you give your energy now will determine the events or things that will multiply in the future. Friday, August 22nd. Friday brings an energy of opposition and fragility, marked by the clash between the yin water pig from the pillar of the day and the snake from the pillar of the year. The atmosphere is unstable, in which grand plans and ambitions risk falling apart if they do not have a solid foundation. It is a moment that invites us to be cautious, to slow down, and to reflect on what is worth keeping and what needs to be let go of from your life. Instead of forcing results or clinging to shaky structures, this day rather calls for balance, humility, and the willingness to accept changes as a natural part of our evolution. The pillar of the day is Gui Hai, yin water pig. We have Hai, pig, in the pillar of the day, which comes into clash, in collision with Si, snake, in the pillar of the year. Those who are advantaged are those born in tiger, rabbit, and goat. Those born in pig, snake, and monkey should show more caution and attention on this day. It is a favorable day for rest and relaxation. It is an unfavorable day for any kind of important activity. The officer of the day is 4. Balance Day Ping. The Balance Day officer superimposed on a day of Gui Hai, yin water pig, in a month of Jiashen, yang wood monkey, is a rather unfavorable combination in the presence of the auxiliary star surging snake. According to the Donggong method of the great master Dong Dezhang, this day can bring minor injuries to family members, the occurrence of legal problems, accidents and incidents, and the interference of petty people. This is a very unfavorable day and should therefore be avoided. In general, the influence given to the Balance Day officer makes this day suitable for negotiations with a favorable outcome for both parties. But be careful. Do not plan things where you want only you to win, because the energies of this day bring all forces into balance regardless of the action. Of course, if you are weaker or in a lower position, your position will increase and you will practically come out on top compared to how you were, but you will not gain more than the other party. That is why it is not a good day for lawsuits, divisions, and wills. The constellation of the day is Tu Nek Mas Kang. The Nek constellation is generally unfavorable, especially for marriage, construction, financial activities, and funerals. Hexagram of the day is 23. Pilishes Bow. What does this hexagram look like? The mountain sitting on top of the earth. The image of a structure that is disintegrating layer by layer. This hexagram speaks to us about fragility, about things that, although they seem solid on the surface, can collapse if they are not supported by a real, authentic foundation. Just as a mountain with a narrow base cannot remain stable in the long term, so too high positions of authority, influence, or power cannot be maintained without the support of others. On this day, humility and transparency are called for. Where pride and self-sufficiency take the place of wisdom, rupture inevitably occurs. This day can bring a feeling of withdrawal, a step back, or even loss. But the message is not one of discouragement, but of recalibration. When you feel like something is falling apart, ask yourself if that thing was already unstable. In a relationship, it is essential to recognize the value of those who support you. Don't isolate yourself, don't close yourself off in your own beliefs. Offer respect and you will receive support. In a professional sense, if you feel like everything is stagnant or that you have lost your direction, it is a sign that you need to rethink your strategy. It is a good day to let go of what no longer makes sense, to clear the space, internal and external, and make room for a new stage. Even if things don't go exactly as you want them to on this day, don't stop. Be patient and trust, because obstacles are temporary. When everything that was superfluous is dissipated, there is room for a healthier and truer construction, and maybe even more solid than everything you have had so far. The deep message of the hexagram is this: everything that is not built on a solid foundation will fall apart little by little, but surely. Don't resist. Let go of what no longer makes sense from your life, but with gratitude, and then prepare, with joy and an open heart, for what comes next. Your true strength is that which comes from the ability to adapt and start over, and not from stubbornness, pride, or resistance. As special information, we have coldness and defrosting day, a good star to melt old tensions, but it can also bring cold episodes in communication. Year breaker day. The energy of this day is in clash opposition with the energy of the year, high C, and for this reason, it is not suitable for important events and starting long-term actions. It can be used for short-term business if you have no other option. Errors, obstacles, changes in plans are possible. It is not favorable for marriage. Problems will arise from the outside. Avoid starting trips on this day. Simon practitioners, we have divine blessing in the Northeast Palace. So we have one of the 3 palaces of victory. Don't worry if you still don't know how to use this palace. You have at hand the guide to the 3 palaces of victory, available for free on courses.catalin Vasiloiu.ro. And if you want to see step by step how to activate Chimen, you can find the video tutorial right there in this guide. Recommendation of the day. Avoid taking any major steps or making any decisive decisions on this day. Use its energy to notice where things are faltering in your life and to gratefully let go of what no longer makes sense. Accept that some stages end precisely to create space for healthier and more sustainable ones. Remember, your strength lies in your flexibility and ability to start over with wisdom and patience. Saturday, August 23rd. Saturday opens under the sign of the Yang Wood Rat, bringing a vibration of new beginnings and long-term stability. The atmosphere is favorable for building something solid, whether we are talking about relationships, businesses, or projects that require patience and continuity. It is a day when patience and receptivity can become the invisible force that lays the foundation for lasting achievements. This is not the time for sudden changes or short-term actions, but for consolidation and settlement. Everything falls into place better when things are done with patience and simplicity. The pillar of the day is Jiazi, Yang Wood Rat. Those who are favored are those born in the ox, monkey, and dragon. Those born in the horse, goat, rabbit, and rock, it would be better to be more cautious on this day. It is a favorable day for marriages, starting a business, signing documents, buying a property, investments. It is an unfavorable day for relocation, funerals, and renovations. The officer of the day is 5, stable day. Ding. The stable day officer superimposed on a day of Jiazi, Yang Wood Rat, in a month of Jiashen, Yang Wood Monkey, generates a suitable configuration for the activities listed above. In general, the stable day officer is favorable for starting stable long-term activities that involve long-term action, or for events from which you want to obtain a lasting effect. The stable day officer is generally favorable for marriage, for the inauguration of a new business, for a housewarming party, for signing an important contract, hiring an important employee, or buying a pet. It is especially unfavorable for short-term projects. The constellation of the day is 3 Foundation Shi. The constellation Foundation brings stability and security, is favorable for public speaking, broadcasting via the internet or teleradio, communications, and the acquisition of property. It is unfavorable for funerals. It is also very unfavorable if you want to build and renovate on this day. Hexagram of the day is 2, Earth, Kunwedi. What does this hexagram look like? It is an image of the Earth supporting all the Earth, the pure symbol of receptivity, gentleness, and the strength that is unseen but sustains everything. On this day, the energy that surrounds us is deeply yin, silent, calm, patient. Hexagram 2 reminds us that true power does not come from dominating, but from supporting, from being present, constant, and firm. Just as the earth is that which bears the weight of the world at every moment, it does not choose what to support. It does so for all, with the same loyalty. And in the same way, you too can choose to be a stable presence for those around you, without asking for anything in return. It is an excellent day to cultivate kindness, generosity, and humility. You can see how things begin to fall into place by themselves if you let go of control and let your soul truly listen. Be open to receiving, but especially to offering support to those in need. This hexagram is especially supportive for women because it speaks of the silent, creative power that does not need to impose itself, but transforms everything it touches. The lesson of this hexagram is simple and profound. Grow what is worth growing. Take your time. Have faith. Even if you do not see the fruits immediately, continue to nourish what you have started with patience and wisdom. The profound message of the hexagram is as follows. Receptiveness does not mean passivity, but the intelligence to wait for the right moment. Be like the earth, support, sustain, remain stable. And do not forget that even the most solid constructions begin with an invisible foundation. As special information, we have Advancement Star Day, indicates progress in small current daily matters. Heavenly Grace Day, suitable for award ceremonies and charity events. Master Killing Day, Shifushari, Master Killing Day, is a day when certain spiritual activities are strictly prohibited. It is essential to avoid using the Lopan, conducting feng shui audits, giving recommendations, or teaching others about feng shui. This warning is also especially important for those involved in spiritual healing practices, because on this day, the negative energy of patients can be transferred to the healer, affecting his energy balance. Be careful and respect these restrictions to protect both yourself and those around you. Recommendation of the day: take advantage of this day to invest in what you want to last: a business, a relationship, a collaboration, or a personal project. Avoid rapid changes or hasty decisions and focus on what is worth cultivating with patience and consistency. The strength of this day lies in your ability to be stable, to provide support, and to build solid foundations, invisible at first but essential for the future. Sunday, August 24th. Sunday carries the energy of the Yinwood ox, which brings perseverance, patience, and a discreet but constant strength. The atmosphere of this day favors beginnings and long-term planning, but also moments of reflection on the healthy rules and boundaries in your life. It is a day that requires organization and firmness, a time when there is no room for superficial compromises or haste that consumes unnecessary energy. Everything that is well started today has the chance to grow solidly if supported by discipline and clear principles. The pillar of the day is Yi Cho, Yinwood ox. Those who are favored are those born in rat, snake, and rock. Those born in goat, horse, and dragon. It would be better to show more attention on this day. It is a favorable day for planning activities, meeting friends, starting studies, renovation, starting a business, signing documents, starting a new project, and starting work. It is an unfavorable day for travel, marriages, moving, and relocation. Officer of the day is 6, Initiate Day Z. Officer Initiate Day has positive influences in general, and because it is superimposed on a day of Yicho, Yinwood ox, in a month of Jiashen, Yangwood monkey, it gives it even more positive perspectives. In general, Officer Initiate Day is suitable for starting an action, for initiating a certain procedure, for starting a plan that you have previously made. But be careful that after a day of Initiate Day comes Destruction Day, Officer Destruction, so if you have something to finish, do it today, but carefully, because a day with more tense energies is coming. The constellation of the day is 4, House Fang. The constellation house is especially favorable for prayer, meditation, spiritual activities. Unfavorable constellation for making decisions regarding financial investments. Hexagram of the day is 21, Biting or Lekeke, penetrating bite. What does this hexagram look like? Imagine thunder and lightning bursting from the middle of the sky, a force that breaks, cleanses, and restores order. This is what hexagram 21 expresses, the energy needed to correct, straighten, and restore balance. In ancient times, rulers knew that in order to maintain harmony and trust in society, it was essential to apply the laws firmly and fairly. Punishments were not just simple sanctions, but pillars of collective order and protection. When rules are clear and respected, peace and cooperation can flourish. Today, this hexagram reminds us of a simple truth. Discipline, fairness, and healthy boundaries are not obstacles, but foundations for a freer and safer life. Where there are fair and timely rules, conflicts are reduced and people can develop without fear. This is an excellent day to strengthen your personal principles, to correct what you know is not working properly, and to set healthy boundaries where needed. Don't be afraid to say no when necessary. Be firm but fair. Respect the essential rules of your own life and demand the same respect in return. The profound message of this hexagram is as follows. The rightly established order brings peace. Clear, courageous, and well-considered actions guard the path to a better life. As special information, we have Heavenly Grace Day, a star suitable for award ceremonies and charitable actions. Fire Star Day, a star with intense energy, which amplifies emotions and impulses. It is a day when conflicts can easily escalate if there is no self-control. On the other hand, it can be beneficial for creative activities and events or sports. Receiving Death Day, current creative activities may encounter difficulties. An excellent day for fishing and hunting. Recommendation of the day. Use the energy of this day to draw boundaries where necessary, to organize your projects and put concrete plans into motion. Avoid impulsive actions and rushing into important decisions, especially in matters related to money or travel. Choose to be firm but fair and let patience be your ally. Remember, peace and stability are not born by chance, but from correct and consistent choices. So, this week is like a test of wisdom. You are given opportunities to act, but also lessons to learn how to dose your energy. If you manage to find balance, you will come out at the end with more strength, more clarity, and with the steps already laid in the right direction. If you found these predictions helpful, leave me a comment below or pass them on to someone who needs them. If you want to continue receiving these predictions and be guided step by step in your transformation process, I invite you to sign up for mentoring. There you will receive not only daily information, but also constant support to build the life you want. Be confident, keep your tone high, rely on your intuition, and move forward with confidence. And until we meet again, may you all have light in your soul, peace in your heart, and harmony in your thoughts. I wish you an inspired week and full of peace.